Greetings. My name is Michael Miller. This is a Michael Miller trademark training video out to you on YouTube Live. Thank you for watching. It's meant for Michael Miller Pilates licensed affiliates, the Core New Core, anyone interested in surviving as a Pilates instructor, or has some interest in core new tension. Just two things today. Well, this is WD-40, right? WD-40. I sprayed my chair, so hopefully it won't accompany me so much now and squeaks when I shift. Number one. MMP connects you to the universe faster than light. MMP connects you to the universe faster than light. So, I suppose I dig my own grave in how dramatic of a statement I make in this. But really, I'm just talking about why, alright? What is MMP? MMP is a point of view of Pilates, like there's 10,000 of them. This point of view looks for an ideal within Joe's work, and it also, in key to its interpretation, considers the complete coordination of body, mind, and spirit. That spirit is what? Observing, right? You can say the observer, but it's much better, I think, to say observing, because it's the act of it, it's the presence of it that matters, without needing to worry about what the observer is or what the observed is. Just the act of observing is a capacity within the human being, and as a Pilates instructor, I think of my job of trying them to have an experience where my student is completely coordinated, body, mind, and spirit. And the spirit is observing, and observing, when taking the state-of-the-art view of physics that we have currently, is both non-local and superluminal. If you take Bell's theorem seriously. And that means non-local means you're connected to the universe. And superluminal means faster than the speed of light. So because MMP, which is one of 10,000 views, considers spirit to be observing, and from what we know about physics, observing, or our nature, the world, the universe, has this character of being non-local and superluminal, connected to the universe faster than light. And that observing is a key issue or player in how we interpret the reality that we're in. Now, why does that matter? Well, because Pilates is about survival. It's about conditioning or training, but it's about anticipating a future where the conditioning will come into play, meaning where it will matter. You can't just be ready for whatever comes up without some degree of preparation, and even then, perhaps no degree of preparation will help you to survive. But to me, Joseph Pilates was a survivor, and as a survivor, his training is survival training. And that jungle that we're surviving in is gravity, gravity forces the issue of alignment. Alignment is sensational via tension between 2 points that makes the alignment sensational and develops more uniform usage. And we want that uniform usage in order to do contrology and develop the body uniformly. So when I say MMP connects you to the universe faster than light, I'm merely referring to the MMP point of view that spirit is observing, and the characteristic of observing, from my point of view, is non-local and superluminal. It seemed to be the point of books. Well, Bell's theorem. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Classical, neoclassical. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm looking at words that say, under classical, the muscles, and under neoclassical, the result. Or under classical, the location, and under neoclassical, the condition. Okay? So, I don't know anymore how to help someone that's so predominantly running a simulation about the body, and then the body's relationship to Pilates. It really does. It boggles my mind how much the 10,000 things, the different views, and it helps me let go of whatever it is in the 10,000 other points of view and merely focus on this one so that I can make my best representation of it so that you can then use it in your attempt to survive as a Pilates instructor. See, so I'm watching a training video on Facebook where an instructor is talking to the camera, the audience, and explaining about the core and showing muscles of the body, showing the muscles, showing the location, and how, yes, that's a classical way to introduce that information. But would it be any different if you had a graph of this, still talking about Pilates, and pointing to the fact of core new tension in the body? So I don't know. Core new tension might have to end up being recognized in its own right, outside and beyond the field of Pilates that brought it into being. And then from its acceptance on a biomechanical level, if that happens, it will it will create more credibility for whatever my point of view was personally, one of the 10,000 views of Pilates. So I wish you were sitting right here, because I always envision you sitting right there and trying to live up to the conversation, which so frequently I feel I fail to do. I'm part of a generation that's gone through Pilates at a time of big growth and expansion, and also contextual solidification in terms of organization, lineage in one column and generation in another row, and everyone somewhere on that grid. The recording I saw, at what level do you learn what? I think I would draw that to a summary. And at what level, in your pursuit of Pilates, there you go, do you let a name sway you, or do you let the vagueness of the original work predominate before you then derive something from that? There you go. At what point is there an emergence from a natural gravity towards classical that one finds themselves in neoclassical? And one example for me would be that the core is a grip at the hips. The core is the powerhouse, and the powerhouse is, like it or not, really, based on, for me, okay, my point of view, the powerhouse is equal to the core, and the core is equal to the grip at the hip, and both point to the condition of a grip, which means it's not a squeeze where it's flat fingers against a palm. The condition of a grip is that there's a curl, there's a grip, and just like there's a grip in my fist, our musculature makes a grip at the hips, and I don't think it will ever suit classical Pilates to go to that point of view of the body dynamic until it's acknowledged by anybody just willing to look at the fact of the biology and the physics and how they interact. Neoclassical moves beyond tradition, and not because it wanted to, but by looking at it as an ideal and seeing anything there congeal as an ideal, it goes beyond looking at it from a point of view of who studied with whom that knew Joe. A lineage thing of personal interaction. Major construction. So, classical, neoclassical. Neoclassical takes the tradition of Pilates to an ideal level. And in some ways that's good, and in some ways that's bad. But in the good ways, it's based on Joe's original work, so it ensures the survival of Joe's original work as something of substance and meaning, based on the ideal that's perceived within it, at least by me. And if you're really willing to look and experience then what you see, so neoclassical is an ideal point of view. Neoclassical is spirit interpreted as or taken as observing, and that observing and thinking and being are capacities within the human being that the Pilates instructor seeks to coordinate as a state of being in the body, in the moment of the doing. Maybe in the body is redundant, because it's alright, so thank you for tolerating my construction zone. Life can't live forever, and neither can that. Read between the lines. At least know that this particular point of view is unique and ideal, and it comes with an understanding of core nutension in the human body, which leads you to an understanding of how to develop the body uniformly, because that's what Joe says contrology is. Contrology develops the body uniformly. Read between the lines, see behind the curtain, add two and two, direct your thinking, even when you're surrounded by backup beeps. And as always, Geist.